Hi, I'm Emily Dankworth and this is Ben Cox and we're here with Get Lifted TV as part of the EFG London Jazz Festival. Tonight we're very lucky to be at the album launch of MOBO Award nominated singer Natalie Willams, one of the UK's most versatile new generation jazz and soul singers.
We're all here to celebrate her brand new album Kaleidoscope, which came out yesterday, 20th of November, but tonight is the official album launch. Natalie, hi.
Hello.
Right.
Yeah.
This isn't like any old album launch. This is a big venue. This is a big launch, a big ensemble. You must be really happy and excited right now.
I'm so excited. I think it's been like this thing it was in the distance for ages. You know, like we started planning it. I think, obviously before when the EFG London Jazz Festival was being kind of programmed and stuff. And so now that the day is actually here is quite bizarre. I woke up this morning feeling really don't know how I felt, but it's sounding amazing. The strings sound absolutely amazing, and the band sounds lovely, and the venue is just divine.
Yeah. So, okay, tell us, what's the main difference between this new album and your older albums?
Well, I kind of take a different journey with every album every time, because depending on where I am, what I've been listening to, who my influences are, and who I've been writing with. So this current album I wrote mainly with my fiancé and bass player and other half, Robin Milaki, and he also produced it. And obviously I did have some co-writes on it with Tom Corley, who I wrote the majority of my last album with. But yeah, generally it's just taken another shape again, and this one's really hard to pigeonhole. So if anyone ever asked me what style it is, I literally couldn't tell you, because it's got so many influences. It's got jazz, it's got like a Jeff Buckley cover, so it's a bit rocky in places, a bit country and soulful in others, and some of it's a bit folky, so it's really hard to put your finger on it. So yeah, people just have to listen and decide for themselves. Good.
You said in another interview that these songs sort of came as a natural progression. Do you think that for this particular album it's sort of more personal to you, because there wasn't sort of an end goal that I have to record and release an album?
Yeah, I mean, it was a really natural thing. I mean, quite often it is, you just suddenly start writing. What happens with me usually is I put an album out and then I take a little break and I kind of don't write for a while, and then suddenly I kind of get that bit like, I need to write another song, and then before I know it, I've written like 2 or 3. And this one was actually going to be an EP, it wasn't going to be an album. I just thought, you know what, everyone else does EPs, they're really quick and easy just to put out, and I'll just bosh one out and it'll be no problem at all. And then before I knew it, we had way more tracks than than you put on an EP, and so I thought, well, you know what, at this point we might as well just keep going and do an album. So again, I fell into that whole, I'm making another album, but that's what I like to do. I get bored, and after 2 years I just go, ta-da!
And you said you co-wrote it with your partner and bass player.
Yeah.
So what was that like? Is it as smooth flowing as it could have been, or?
It is, because he's the musician I respect the most of any musicians I know in the world. And that's not, and even before we were together, he's a phenomenal player and composer, and I've always been a fan of his writing and everything. So I kind of let him, it was a real mutual thing, but he did get involved in everything and in the melodies and stuff, and he kind of sometimes go, well, how about this? And I just went with it, because I just thought this is it's really interesting, and he comes up with ideas that I wouldn't necessarily come up with. And yeah, it was amazingly no arguments, really. It was really good.
The album features some very special guests, Mr. Jacob Collier, who's playing tonight, and percussionist Manu Delago.
Manu can't make it, unfortunately, but he's on the album. Manu Delago, funnily enough, I met years ago, because I was at Guildhall School of Music and Drama, and Manu was there. He's from Austria, and he came up to me once when I came back to do a gig at Guildhall, and he was there at the time playing the hand drum, and he came up to me and I went, we should do something together one day, and this was so many years ago. And then we kind of stayed in touch a little bit, and I remember seeing or hearing about people talking about a hand drum player who's made it his life's mission to become the world's best hand drum player. And then I went to see Bjork at Alexandra Palace in Roswell Hill, and he was playing hand drum, he was playing percussion and drums and everything, and he blew me away. And he was the only other musician she had on stage apart from a huge choir. And I instantly found him on Facebook, refriended him, because I probably lost touch with him a while ago, and called him up and said, you must come, you have to write, and that was that.
Wow. And you've got I don't know if you already said this, but you've got string section tonight as well. Where have you got them from?
Well, Where did we find them? Robin actually phoned Lucy Railton, who's a wonderful cellist, who does a lot with musicians like Kit Downs. Her partner is also an incredible jazz bass player called Peta Eld. So she kind of does a lot of this kind of music, so she was the first go-to person, and she fixed the rest of the section. But what's lovely is, actually, I knew quite a lot of them already, because they are still in the Heritage Orchestra, which I used to sing in as well, so actually it was really nice. I showed up, I didn't want to deal with all that part of things, and I kind of thought it's nice to hand it over to someone else, and someone else fixes it, but actually when I came here and they were all here, I was like, yay!
Soul Family is still going strong as ever,
Mm-hmm.
and I have to say, like, you truly stand out, because I obviously came to the gig the other night, and it's like, because there aren't many sort of soul R&B singers that when they do a jazz solo, it's real sophisticated scatting, improvising. That's just incredible.
Oh, thank you. I try. But it doesn't know, it's what you never know what's going to happen, do you? But I'm surrounded by such amazing musicians that you just kind of go with it and see what happens. But all the singers that sing in Soul Family, Brendan Riley is a very accomplished jazz singer. Most people don't know that. He's on tour, for instance, at the moment with Disclosure. He's got a track on their new album, and everyone's like, yeah, Brendan Riley. And he used to do Basement Jack, so everyone has this idea that he's a really full-on soul singer. Actually, his jazz singing is incredible. And Vula's in Basement Jacks, and Charlene, and they all have these amazing ears where they can, Layla Hathaway employs Vula, and they sing together a lot. And it's just a fine line, isn't it? Well, how do you say soul or jazz or whatever? It's just, if you're into that kind of thing, you're into it.
Yeah. And so you're obviously surrounded, as you're such an amazing musician, you're surrounded by other amazing musicians. Who are some of the most memorable people you've worked with, or most inspiring?
Is it rubbish to say again? Well, my boyfriend, he's really amazing. You mentioned Jacob Collier, and he's only in the last year or so become quite a good mate, because Robin also plays in his trio, and so we've kind of been hanging out quite a bit. And that boy, I saw him last night at the Barbican, doing his solo show, and that is, inspiration beyond belief, because he's just really sucked up everything. He's listened to so many records. He knows so much about harmony. He can play so many instruments. His singing is just, from the first time I've heard him to last night, has just come on leaps and bounds, and he's just going to become this monster of a musician. So I'm really honoured to know him, and also that he's going to sit in and do a little song with me on this. But God, everyone inspires me. Everyone's got something different to give. I love what I love about Soul Family is all the different artists that come in and do their own thing, and you kind of learn from each other. People like Vula and Charlene and Brendan, as I already said, they're really inspiring to me as singers, because they're so able and they're so original.
Do you all write together?
Well, funny enough, we do this new Soul Family stuff that you heard. Yeah, was kind of co-written all together, pretty much. To a point, Brendan and I worked quite a lot on the lyrics, but we kind of did workshop it as a group, so it's quite going to be interesting when it comes down to the publishing, who gets what, but it was quite a big group effort. So,
Well, Natalie, thank you so much for talking to us. All the best for tonight. It'll be brilliant. It's a fantastic album. And one more question. Mm-hmm. Where is the after party, and are we invited?
Listen, it's a Saturday night in Shoreditch, and we have been on the phone so many places, and everywhere's booked up, so it's going to be here for a while. And of course you're invited. Champagne for everyone, darling. But I'll let you know.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for watching. You've been watching Get Lifted TV. Please comment, share, like, thumbs up, and check out the channel. Natalie Willams, thank you very much.
My pleasure. Thank you.
But say